Yeah, so my concern with 13.01, it's kind of a question more than anything. Why aren't we letting a company that does this type of service or replace our food program in its entirety? I don't think that we're doing a good job at feeding our students. I constantly get pictures from parents with their lunches. They're absolutely atrocious. In order to drive this point home, I would recommend that every member of this school board and senior leadership eat our school lunches for 30 days. And then let's come back and have the discussion. Because if you have, then, I mean, you would see things like this. These are taco shells with no meat, mac and cheese in a little package, and a fruit cup and some apple slices. So this is kind of like McDonald's would be considered gourmet compared to this. Then you have another mac and cheese, and the reason I put this is because you can see this is mac and cheese. This is the same meal, right? And you can see that the consistency between the two meals vary so widely that they're not even recognizable as the same meal. So if you have, and you didn't come here and say something, shame on you. Here's another, I'm not sure what that is. It's either a brownie or it's meat. I don't know. And then these chicken nuggets that I see, which are here with a bag, and I don't know if this is lettuce or rubber gloves or what that is. You can't tell. But obviously this is not. But when the parents come to a lunch hosted at the school, this is what they're fed. So if we're feeding the parents one food, we should be feeding their kids that food when the parents aren't looking. It's just my opinion. So I think that if we hired a company that does this, we would be serving our community better. And that's just based on the complaints that I'm receiving from the community. You're
Well,
here,
I would
Andrews.
like to invite you to come to in one of our schools. We are a national program and government regulated, and there's a lot of rules behind that, like what we can serve nutritionally and portion sizes. And if you just spend the time to meet with me so I can go over that with you, you would better understand what we do. What we do is the same thing as what a contract company does.
Yeah. Well,
So let me know when you would like to meet. I'll be glad to meet with you.
well, here's the thing. Really? I mean,
I can't say that that is ours. We are coming off of a pandemic, and there's been severe supply chain shortages.
I can understand that. And I can understand that. And that's why I'm not saying it's even you guys. I'm just saying that realistically, there's companies that do this and would probably do it
We are
better.
the same company. We employ a lot of local employees. We do the same thing. Those contract companies offer the same food that we have. K through 12 products, period. Whole grain, low sodium. Those companies
I mean, these
are
are-
the same products.
These are
I can't say that that's ours.
I mean, this is from Gateway High School. This is from Gateway High School, and this may be low sodium because it might. I mean, maybe it is low sodium. I don't know, but certainly here's the thing: if I were, and I am, a taxpayer, I wouldn't be happy with this being for my kid. I also have other parents that say that when their kid gets to school, a different school, the only thing that they have to eat in the morning is Pop-Tarts. So
That's not accurate.
they
There's
said because
menu
they run out of hot
planning
food,
guidelines.
that they run out of food, a hot food, and the only thing available for her, the only option that she has is Pop-Tarts. So maybe that's not true. I don't know, but I have been to the schools. It's not like I've never been to a school before. I've gone there during lunch. I've never been impressed by the food, just to be frank, okay?
Then please take the time to meet with me at a school, and I will go over the requirements with you and show you everything that we have to meet, the same thing as a contract company.
Okay, so then I'll come and I'll meet with you under the condition that when we meet, you also have a plan to improve these meals.
We have a plan.
Okay, then I'll be there this week. Thursday?
I'm sorry, I'm out of the office for the rest of the week. My son is graduating.
Come on. Congratulations,
Okay.
that's fine. Whenever it's convenient, send me an email, I'll come
The
down.
following week, yep.
Thank you, Judith.
Thank you. Dr. Pace?
Yes, Mr. Arguello and members of the board, should you wish us to explore a strategic change in direction, by employing an outside contractor to provide our food services, we would need to go through an RFP process or examine alternatives that might be piggybacked with other districts. But I will remind the board that Ms. Gordon and Mr. Shatera did 2 weeks ago offer to sit down and meet with you about this contract, and we will be happy, Mr. Arguello, to follow up and get that meeting established as soon as, right after Labor Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Melendez?
Memorial Day, sorry.
She might be back here. I'm not gonna have the same line of questioning. Mine is about the distribution component of it, because I know there was an emergency situation. That's why we have the connexes outside, the refrigerators and things like that. I just kind of wanted like a status update on that, and how does this item on the agenda impact that moving forward? So are we still having Cisco come here? Is this like a 1-year extension? So we're gonna still have the storage, and I'm not talking about like where the food comes from, but the storage of it and how it gets distributed to the individual schools.
Cisco has indicated, and as a part of this power buying contract, that they still are not capable of providing the school delivery. That's why the system is continuing to have the centralized distribution and delivery. But again, we're happy to explore other options as a part of our strategic planning process. It just requires a process.
Now, what does the purchasing consortium do though, when we're like dealing with all these? Is this with the distribution part of it, or just the purchasing of the food itself?
This is the leveraging of the buying power to get better pricing structure by combining the districts in this consortium piece.
Okay.
So the reviewing other alternatives, if we do that through our strategic plan, would we have to approve this and then think about another option in the future?
Yeah, we have to, we need some type of a short-term
Yeah.
solution, but it's because that would be a longer-term initiative.
Yeah.
But again, it's certainly something that under Goal 3, we could discuss
How long is this?
moving forward.
Expire? I'm sorry, Dr. Pay, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like, when does this current contract expire then? So we have the opportunity to look at
Next year.
alternatives.
Well, we're a member of the power buying group. We're purchasing through Cisco. There are only 3 companies in the state of Florida that supply K-12 food. This is the only one that says they can meet our needs, and they're having difficulty. So,
Okay. All right, board. I know that we do have a motion to approve by Mr. Arguello.
Second.
Okay.
And I have further comments.
Are your comments material to whether or not we move forward with this particular contract?
Yes.
Are you going to withdraw your motion?
Sure.
Okay, so motion withdrawn. Mr. Arguello?
Yeah, so here's, number one, I'm not alluding to the fact that people aren't working hard at what they're doing in that department or so on. What I'm just saying is that we're not doing a good job of it regardless of the circumstances and the reasons that we're not. That's obviously the case. In the end, I think one of the issues that we've had in Osceola is that we prioritize things incorrectly. We should be prioritizing right now, right? Of course, you have to follow statute, but you should be prioritizing the nutritional care of the child first, and then you do everything else to follow along that to make that happen, right? As opposed to other reasons which may be distracting from the mission, which is to providing them with healthy food. This food is atrocious. I do understand that there's issues logistically right now all over the country, not just with us. But it's much better to have somebody else that this is what they do. It's a tough argument to make that they wouldn't do it better. So here, I don't think that we have the expertise. We may be using the same people, right? If we're using the same people and we're using the same process and we're using everything is the same, then why wouldn't we switch to somebody who does it professionally as opposed to putting it on top of our employees or on our bending our capacity to do the project, right? So that's really what my issue is. So with that, I'll make the motion again to approve.
Second.
Members of the board, just so you know, you have a 60-day termination right under the agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Kroppenbacher. I have a motion from Mr. Arguello, second by Mr. Melendez. Board, all those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.